It looked like nothing more than a feel-good photo op. Meghan Markle, radiant and smiling, walking down the aisle of a commercial flight like she owned the skies. She scribbled a sweet note to the crew, posed with passengers, and let the cameras catch every carefully staged smile. But what the world didn't realize was that this wasn't just a publicity stunt. It was cover, calculated, precise, and executed at 30,000 feet. Because while Meghan played the glamorous jet-setter for social media, something far more disturbing was unfolding below. A British Airways crew member, anonymous but credible, quietly broke ranks. Her story wasn't about turbulence in the air, it was about turbulence behind the royal curtain. She described a long-haul flight where Meghan barely acknowledged her own child. No bonding, no warmth. The baby didn't even react to her. At first, it sounded like exhaustion, until it didn't. Because that small, strange moment wasn't an isolated case, it was the final clue in a theory that's haunted Meghan Markle's story for years. And then, just when people thought the rumors had finally died, a woman stepped out of the shadows with evidence that could tear apart the carefully curated Sussex fairy tale. She says Meghan never gave birth at all. Not once, not twice, and she's ready to prove it. What comes next doesn't just challenge the Sussex's image, it threatens to unravel royal succession, titles, and even the monarchy's public trust. Because if what this woman says is true, everything we thought we knew about Meghan Markle's motherhood was a lie. It wasn't Buckingham Palace or a press conference where the first crack appeared. It was a quiet, uneventful British Airways flight, the kind where no one expects headlines to be born. But according to a crew member on board, what happened that day was anything but ordinary. Meghan Markle, accompanied by her baby and a nanny, barely interacted with the child during the entire long-haul journey. She didn't hold the baby. She didn't whisper to it. There was no lullaby, no soft glance, no instinctual gestures that mothers make, even in public. The nanny, by contrast, was completely hands-on, feeding, soothing, adjusting. Meghan sat back, disengaged, cold. What made the crew uncomfortable wasn't just Meghan's aloofness, it was the child's reaction to her, or rather, the lack of one. No stretching arms, no sparkle of recognition, not even a cry when Meghan moved away. It was as if the child didn't know her. At first, the attendants chalked it up to jet lag, maybe even stress. But the more they watched, the more the energy on board shifted, from confused to tense to deeply unsettled. These weren't paparazzi or bloggers trying to start drama. These were professionals used to flying world leaders, celebrities, and royals. And yet, what they witnessed that day lingered. One attendant, too disturbed to stay silent, finally shared her story. Anonymously, but clearly. Her words didn't just confirm the old internet whispers. They ignited them. Because this wasn't the first time someone had noticed something strange. The rumors had been circling since 2019, hushed in forums and deleted from headlines, that Meghan Markle may never have given birth to her children. And now, with this flight, with a child who didn't recognize her and a mother who didn't even pretend to connect, those rumors weren't whispers anymore. They were alarms. And they were about to get louder. For years, the idea that Meghan Markle didn't give birth to her children was dismissed as internet gossip, wild speculation with no real face behind it. That changed the moment DL came forward. She didn't want fame. She didn't show up with a book deal or flashy interviews. But what she did bring was a story so detailed, so chillingly precise, that it couldn't be ignored anymore. DL claims she was recruited in secret to be Meghan's surrogate, not once, but twice. According to her, it was like stepping into a controlled operation. She says she was flown to a secluded compound, stripped of her phone, forbidden to speak to anyone, and given explicit instructions: deliver the baby, sign the NDA, and disappear. There were no legal documents, no surrogacy contracts filed, just whispered promises and the looming threat of silence. She describes her experience not as a medical journey, but as psychological isolation. Nurses came and went without introducing themselves. Cameras monitored her movements. She was told she would never be publicly acknowledged. And for a while, DL accepted that. She went along with the arrangement, trusting that the woman on the other side, the one who would raise her child, would at least honor her role. But after the second birth, everything changed. Meghan stopped replying. The gratitude vanished. DL says she wasn't just forgotten. She was erased. No contact, no support, nothing. And when Meghan began appearing in interviews, crying on camera about the hardships of motherhood, DL said it felt like watching someone steal her skin. That's when she broke. That's when she decided the truth mattered more than the fear. And the truth she carries isn't just words. DL says she has ultrasound scans. She has hospital footage. She has time-stamped medical records, all of it aligning perfectly with the public timeline of Archie and Lilibet's births. And if that weren't enough, she's even offered to take a DNA test to prove that the children are biologically hers. She's not asking for money. She's not demanding headlines. She's asking for something far more dangerous, the truth. DL didn't just speak, she came armed. Ultrasound scans, time-stamped footage, hospital wristbands. Everything matches the timeline of Archie and Lilibet's supposed births. One clip shows her visibly pregnant, exhausted on a medical bed, whispering the date and location into the camera. Another shows her holding a newborn, crying softly while a nurse tends to her. And then came her challenge. Test me, test them, let's see who's lying. She's ready for a DNA test, publicly, under third-party supervision. No spectacle, just proof. And if what she's claiming holds, it's not just Meghan's image that's at risk, it's the royal bloodline itself. At first, the rumors seemed absurd. Tabloid noise, easily ignored. But then people started digging. That now infamous video where Meghan's baby bump appeared to fold inward as she bent down, brushed off as a wardrobe glitch years ago. Now it's going viral again, with fresh eyes and deeper questions. Was it a bump or a prop? Then came the odd baby photos. Blurry, cropped, overly staged. No clear shots of faces, just a pair of feet. Observers noted inconsistencies, hands that didn't match Meghan's skin tone, nails shaped differently. Even photos from Lilibet's birth raised eyebrows. Some claim Meghan never even entered the hospital, just showed up afterward, perfectly styled for the press. Individually, these moments could be dismissed. But viewed together, they form a disturbing pattern. And now, with DL's story, those long-dismissed internet theories feel less like conspiracy and more like evidence hiding in plain sight. Behind the palace gates, the official story was airtight. No public statements, no questions, just polished photos and controlled narratives. But according to insiders, that calm exterior was a mask. And behind it, the royals were panicking. A senior aide reportedly admitted that the palace had long harbored quiet concerns. No medical records were ever formally shared. No hospital staff ever spoke. And while the monarchy presented unity to the world, behind closed doors, there were late-night meetings and contingency plans, just in case the truth ever surfaced. Now, those whispered worries are crashing into reality. DL's story has turned private doubts into a public firestorm. And with each new claim, more insiders are coming forward, not loudly, but deliberately. The silence, once strategic, is now looking like complicity. DL didn't just talk, she documented everything. In one clip, she lies on a hospital bed, visibly pregnant, exhausted, whispering the date and location. In another, she cradles a newborn while a masked nurse checks vitals in the background. The lighting, the equipment, the medical tags, all of it aligns with the birth timelines of Archie and Lilibet. Experts who've seen screenshots say the footage looks real, not staged, not edited. And perhaps most shockingly, DL says she has metadata to back it up. If verified, it would be catastrophic for Meghan and Harry. Because this isn't gossip anymore, this is physical evidence with timestamps and hospital records. And DL says she's turned down money from tabloids and networks. She isn't chasing fame, she's chasing truth. What broke her silence, she claims, wasn't greed, it was erasure. Meghan didn't just forget her, she wiped her out of existence. As DL's claims began to circulate, Meghan's PR machine shifted into overdrive. Suddenly, the internet was flooded with cheerful family content. Videos of the kids giggling in a garden, soft-focus blog posts about motherhood and resilience, and carefully staged moments that screamed damage control. But viewers weren't convinced. One clip showed a child said to be Lilibet, but online sleuths pointed out the eye shape didn't match Meghan's, nor the hair color Harry's. Reddit threads exploded with photo comparisons, analyzing facial structure, bone lines, even hand sizes. The deeper they dug, the more the inconsistencies piled up. And then came the timing. Meghan's surprise appearance on the American Airlines flight, where she smiled, waved, and handed out thank you notes, happened just as DL's story was picking up speed. It wasn't a coincidence, it was a distraction. But instead of calming the chaos, it ignited it. Because people weren't asking, "What is she hiding?" anymore. They were asking, "Why is she trying so hard to convince us it's real?" Inside Montecito, the mood shifted from crisis management to full-blown panic. Meghan's legal team began scrambling, reaching out to labs, issuing private inquiries, trying to delay or block any public DNA testing DL might pursue. But the strategy wasn't about disproving her, it was about buying time. Back in London, senior palace advisors were reportedly urging King Charles to act. The issue wasn't just Meghan's image, it was the line of succession. If Archie and Lilibet weren't born through a documented legal surrogacy, their titles could be stripped and their place in the royal family erased. This wasn't gossip anymore, it was a constitutional threat. One insider warned the king directly, "If we don't control the narrative, the monarchy might lose control of the line." For an institution built on tradition and bloodlines, nothing is more dangerous than doubt. And this story wasn't going away. It was only growing louder. While Meghan's team worked around the clock, Prince Harry vanished from view. No interviews, no statements, not even a carefully worded denial. Just silence. And that silence, once seen as composure, began to feel like something else, guilt. Those closest to him say he's withdrawn, avoiding calls, shutting out longtime friends. Some believe he's overwhelmed, blindsided by the scale of what's unfolding. Others think he's known for much longer than he ever let on, and that the weight of it is finally breaking him. But in the court of public opinion, silence speaks volumes. If he was fooled, why isn't he saying it? If he wasn't, what else is he hiding? Meghan may be facing the cameras, but Harry's absence is haunting, and it's fueling a narrative far more damaging than words. As the chaos ripples through both sides of the Atlantic, all eyes are on one woman, DL. She's not interested in interviews or tabloids. She's not chasing followers or fame. According to sources close to her, she's preparing for just one thing: a supervised third-party DNA test. No media circus, no live stream, just truth. If the results match what she claims, the fallout will be seismic. Archie and Lilibet wouldn't just lose titles, they could be removed from the line of succession entirely. No inheritance, no royal privileges, their very identity, questioned at the deepest level. And it wouldn't stop there. Historians are already weighing in. Legal experts warn this could set a precedent where future royal births might require documented proof. For a monarchy built on lineage, trust, and tradition, this is an existential threat. And for the public, long-fed polished narratives and fairytale photos, it's a brutal wake-up call. Meanwhile, Meghan is said to be unraveling. Former staffers describe panic, emotional outbursts, and sleepless nights. Brands are backing away. Book deals are on hold. Her image, so carefully crafted around motherhood, resilience, and grace, is cracking under pressure. And Harry? Still silent. But silence at this point is no longer neutral. It's noise in disguise. DL says she's not out for revenge, she just wants her truth to exist. "Those kids deserve the truth," she reportedly told a friend. And so does the public. What began as a charming flight photo op may end in a constitutional reckoning. If DL's claims are proven true, this won't just be the end of a narrative. It'll be the beginning of a royal identity crisis. One built not on crowns or castles, but on DNA, erased promises, and a secret that refused to stay buried. Because in the end, truth doesn't knock politely at the gates of power. It breaks them open.